Six it, bro. Welcome to Six Set Bro, a misguided adventure through the social fringe of the music industry. I'm your guy, indie musician, unofficial brand ambassador of Pepsi Cola, and proud Canadian, Don Maple. And I'm here, as always, with my best pal, Andrew Fernandez.
Morning.
Good morning. And my big brother's in the background. He does technical mumbo-jumbo back there, but he doesn't have a microphone, so you won't hear.
There he is. Somewhere.
There he is. Oh, and it's Arlo.
Oh, why not put him here?
Yeah, bring Arlo in. Arlo can be part of the interview. Hello, buddy. Hi, pal. So on this fine early morning, we're not used to this. We usually do them at nighttime, so we're all super tired and we're all having coffee instead of beer. We're being joined by one of the hottest up-and-coming indie bands around right now. We have so much to talk about. They're supporting Snow Patrol at Ward Park this year, and they've just finished, I think, their biggest tour to date. So please welcome Taylor Johnson from Brand New Friends. Welcome. Dude, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. This is awesome.
Well, you know what? It'll probably be the best looking episode that we've ever done because there's like natural daylight coming through the blinds. But I think I prefer this. Maybe we should do this every morning instead. Yeah, and Andy could barely get up this morning for this. So yeah, you guys, have you just finished your tour, or are you still on it?
We have just finished. It was a 21-day tour, 25 days all around the UK. So we started in Brighton, and we finished in Bournemouth. But between that, we went up to Edinburgh and Glasgow. We did Cardiff, did Manchester. I mean, we did all of the major cities pretty much. So by the end of it, I had no like clean socks or pants or anything, and we were just really hungry and really tired. But it was amazing too. It was some experience.
That's genuinely something that nobody ever thinks about whenever you go on tour, is it? It seems like it's all going to be rock star lifestyle.
Definitely not. It's just like loads of travel lodge in the evening, just watching The Chase, just constantly, like Deal or No Deal, whatever's on Channel 4, because that's the only thing you get in travel lodge. So just loads of that and loads of coffee and.
Totally, man. I mean, how does it feel that like be a, I don't even know how to word this, like how does it feel to be like a legit touring band? You know, where like I always think I'm touring if I play a show in like Belfast and then I get to play a show down south. I'm like, I'm on like an Irish tour right now. But like you guys are legit touring. Like does it feel weird? Like is this the dream come true?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely far more than I ever thought would be possible. Like I mean it's just to get to do it is such a privilege, and it's something that the four of us all really really appreciate hugely. We never thought we'd get the chance to do it, so yeah. You know, to be told, listen, we've booked you a load of gigs, no matter where they were, like even if it was just, you know, we've booked you the wee bar at the end of your street for 21 nights in a row, we'd be like, oh yeah, amazing. But the fact that we get to see other places too just adds a lovely sort of wee bit of magic to the adventure. So yeah, it's great fun, but we also are very aware that it could all stop tomorrow. Like we're so aware that it could just end. So we're just trying to enjoy every gig we get to play, really.
Totally, man. I mean, like I know a band that I think we both have a lot of love for is General Fiasco, and I think they're kind of an example of a band that like we all thought they would go so far, and they did for a while, and then it just got shut down. Second album just flopped, and then nothing. And it's such a good record. Like that's what gets me. I love the second record.
I love it. But I love pretty much every song they've ever put out. I mean, you know, I'm such a fanboy. I really love them, and the thing is, because their music resonates with so many people, and it influenced us and totally. Made us sit with our guitars and write songs. To me, there's no way you could ever categorize that band as anything other than a huge success, because what they did literally changed people's lives. It changed my life. You know,
totally, man.
Which to me is the sort of power of music. That is the most beautiful thing about it. But I agree. I think they deserve to see more of the world. I think their music should have taken them further than it did. But you know, knowing the guys, I think they're still really happy.
Yeah.
Just, you know, they're still in
of
bands
course,
and they're
man.
still happy.
It's a vicious industry, dude. Like,
hard,
what are you
yeah.
gonna do?
Yeah.
But it's weird. I actually I put a post up on Facebook not that long ago talking about the first gig I ever went to, which was Ward Park, the first one.
Oh.
And I sort of put up a post just to say how much that changed my perception of music and made me want to be in a band. And the first band I remember opening for that was Kowalski. I don't know if you remember Kowalski, but
I do. Were they Bangor boys?
yeah, they were from
Yeah.
Bangor, because I always thought it was I just thought it was weird, because like I went to see this show and I'm like, there's this band up on stage and it seems larger than life. And then a friend of mine, I might get this wrong, this might be false information, but a friend of mine said that they worked with the lead singer, one of the members, in Bangor Cinema. and I was kind of like, I don't understand. Like, obviously, to that point, if you see someone playing a rock show on a stage, you think that they're highly, highly successful,
Yeah.
and just like, you know, you guys are doing it, you guys are rock stars, and then it's like, no, he just works in the movie theater across the road. So that kind of just woke me up to the fact that it's possible, I think, and I became obsessed with "Are You Noisy Sunshine State," the EP that they had. And
That's a great name for a record, isn't it?
I know,
It's such
I
a
know.
cool name.
They had that song "Sunshine State," and I was just, yeah, I still play that now. Like,
Yeah.
it is a coveted possession of mine that I own a copy of it. But I actually put a post up and I tagged them in it, and it was so nice. One of them got back to me and just, you know, said how lovely it was that somebody actually, like, it changed somebody, you
Yeah.
know, and made me want to do it. Another band is Wonder Villains.
Oh, completely. Oh, I
Yeah,
love
they made
those
me
guys.
want to do it as well.
Oh man, no, I'm exactly the same. I remember, like, obviously the album coming out, and they played a show. You might have actually been there. They played it was the old SU. You know, they've changed it now, taken
Yeah.
it away. It was the old underground part of the SU, and Hot Cup supported them. And it was Hot Cup's second gig ever, because 2015. Because I remember I went down wearing like a Hawaiian shirt and denim shorts. Like, I mean, what on earth was I thinking? But I did, and maybe sunglasses indoors. But I don't want to put that on record.
Why not?
I know, I can't remember. I was very young, but I remember seeing Hot Cups and just being like, oh my god, this band, like
Oh,
this
for
freaking
sure.
band, this is the band. Like they're gonna be the voices of this generation, and I still think they will be. You know, I know they haven't got huge yet, but I think they definitely will. And the Villains were just, well, you know, they're the Villains. They're
exactly.
just unbelievable pop songs, and they're lovely people as well.
Oh yeah,
you know?
I mean they're so nice. Another band that unfortunately split up, you know,
I know.
which I would have loved to see them keep going. But yeah, we actually seen them. It was me and Mike saw them at a Electric Six show in the Limelight, and they supported them.
wow.
And that, I think that was really the point where me and Mike were like, we wanted to do a band together,
That's
you know. So that sort of made the decision up for us to
Wow.
like jump into it, and then we started Hit the B Button,
That's so cool. That's
which
so cool.
I wanted to bring up anyway, because the weird thing is, our band Hit the V Button, the first show that we ever got booked was in the Pavilion in Belfast, and it was by Taylor. Whenever he was a gig promoter for a short time. What age were you being a gig promoter at?
I think I was 18. I was maybe 19. I think I was 18. I just left school, and I was just trying to do something in music. And at that stage, I couldn't play guitar.
Really?
Yeah,
That's what I wanted to ask you about, because I wasn't sure like what came first. Like, were you trying to start up a music career and then sort of done the gig promotion to help network or something like that, or was it just
no.
you just try and get involved in something?
I just love music. Like,
Yeah.
I just loved music. I was obsessed with music. I played football. Football was my thing. I played football till I was 18. I played for, you know, I was rubbish. It was terrible. But like when I realised I'm not going to play for Arsenal, I was like, okay, well, what's my other biggest passion? Well, it's music. And yeah, I wanted to talk about music. I wanted to write about music. I wanted to do anything I could to just be involved with it, because it was the thing that made me happiest more than anything else in the world. So my dad had bought me a guitar, and I was like 16 or 17. And I couldn't play it, and he tried really hard to teach me, but I'm not that smart, so it took me a very, very long time. It's a really gradual process. So I was doing the gig promotions. I was working in a radio station, age 18. I didn't go to uni because I just wanted to focus on trying to do something in music. So I got a job working for a commercial radio station based in town, just in Belfast. I was working like 5 nights a week doing the midnight show. So I would come on at about 12:30 at night, and I would hand over to the breakfast host at about 6. So I mean, I had no social life.
Yeah.
Because I was just doing that, and then the weekends was promoting gigs. So it's sort of just quietly in the background, I was trying to learn a few chords. My dad was trying to teach me. I never got a lesson. I just taught myself, and my dad would show me, like, you know, Eagles songs or old Pogue songs or Oasis songs. And I eventually realised I'm really, really bad at playing other people's songs. So I was like, I'm gonna have to write my own here, because I'm so rubbish at everything else. And I realised then that that was something that made me even happier again. And the only thing that made me happier than talking about music was actually playing it. And I just, you know, when I do something, I do it. Like, I try not to be half-arsed about things. So I just was obsessed with being in a band then, and that was my one goal and focus, and it has been ever since, really. So that's sort of the story.
You can tell, man. I mean, you're so passionate about it. I know for like the first minute. So it was like our first show in Belfast. Like I had played in bands before, but because we were underage, there was a lot of places we couldn't play. So we usually played in around like Newtonards and different areas that they would kind of let you just play that shouldn't. So I never really got to get into Belfast until that first B Button show.
And
I just remember going up.
Of age by then, you should just probably specify.
Yeah.
I was of age. Don't blame Taylor. I was over 18 by this stage. Don't worry.
Don't get Taylor in trouble.
Although, well, I mean that was already a bit of a problem that night anyway. Because we show up and obviously I'm a bit nervous or whatever. But dude, the minute you walk through that door, you like burst in and you're just like, "How's everybody doing?" And you were ridiculously late as well. And you're just like, instantly I was like, okay, I guess this is the guy. Because whenever you first come in, you're like, wonder like who's running this thing, and you're like looking
Is
around.
that guy in the corner or something?
Yeah, there's this guy over here, and it's like, boom, sorry I'm late. Like, and then you showered everybody in compliments, man. You're just such a nice guy.
Fuck, man,
And
what do we say? I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true. I loved your band. I still love your band, and I can actually remember that gig for loads of reasons. But you guys were on first, and you were brilliant. I remember just thinking, this band have something. This is amazing.
Well, yeah, we like that whole night got screwed up because a band called Serotonin were playing that aren't together anymore, but I think one of them or some of them did end up being underage, and then they got kicked out by the bouncers and then had to play outside. Well, they didn't have to play outside, but they decided to make a bit of a statement and played outside the bar.
That's right.
Done
yeah.
like an acoustic
When was this?
set.
Do I-
We probably weren't hanging out as much back then, man. It's like, were we? 2014? This is a long time
I'm
ago.
definitely sure I remember a band being kicked out.
Maybe you were there. It was.
Probably happened multiple
It
times.
has happened a
No,
few
but like
times
for on the
for
rage,
sure.
I'm pretty sure I was there.
I'm pretty sure
Goodman.
Stuart Bailey from ATL and NME
Yeah.
fame, he was there and started like live tweeting it. I think he actually put like a live video on Facebook, like Facebook Live thing, and loads of people and started tweeting about it.
Yeah.
Like that night became sort of infamous in a weird way
it
because
was
of that.
kinda, yeah.
And yeah,
We
that
ended
was-
up having a headline the thing,
Yeah, that's
which
right.
wasn't meant to happen.
That's right.
Like, it was our first show,
That's right.
and we ended up headlining the whole show.
But that
Um,
was the Serotonin guys were really good as well, because there was two of them that were of age, and they stayed in the bar, watched our set, and said, "Look, we're gonna do this thing outside, but we just want to make sure that we don't clash with you guys as well," which was a really nice thing to do.
Yeah,
They didn't
That's
want to
they
do
were
that.
they were super nice. They just didn't want to like, because obviously it could have been bad because it was a big thing going on outside. It would have dragged everybody out of the bar, but they timed it quite nicely so that
Yeah.
it wouldn't happen. And I remember you coming over to say about it as well, because like sometimes you probably go to these things and like if something big like that was happening, everybody just take off. But you were just like asked us to go to a headline slot, and then you're like they're gonna perform outside, but then they did it in
Yeah.
between sets. It was really nice. It worked out pretty well.
Yeah, it was just
Historic
everyone pulled
gig.
together, you know,
Yeah.
to make a really cool night. It was great.
The only thing that sucks is I don't think I got to see it, if I remember, because we had to set up. We had to do changeover. That was the only thing that didn't go to. I was like, I kind of wanted to watch it, but
Oh man.
what are you gonna do? But yeah, that was weirdly the first time I ever met Taylor, and look at him now. I just
Even more skint.
I remember after that just seeing like you were putting demos up on like SoundCloud and stuff like that under Brand New Friend, and then all of a sudden it was just like boom, here it comes, like the full band formed. But I wanted to ask you about something. I just read a post that you guys put up like a couple of days ago, and you said that two members of the band had to quit or lost their jobs over going on the last tour.
Yeah.
And it's something I like I like talking to guests about this on the podcast because, like, I do Don Maple, my own band, and I work a full-time job, and it is difficult, and I'm always wondering, like, can I not do this thing if I'm holding down a full-time job? Like, you never know what point you get to where you're gonna have to leave it behind, because I'm definitely not at the stage where I could quit that and be making any money. I don't think you'll make any money anyway, like, being a musician, but, like, I didn't realize that you guys had, like, jobs, or how many of you had jobs. And Lauren, your sister who plays in the band as well, she's studying at university, which is just insane. It's like,
it's been tough, to be honest. It's been probably the hardest period ever, like, for our band. Like, we've never been closer to stopping. It's never been closer to ending completely, and I don't think a lot of people know that. It's been, since the album came out, there's been loads of good times, but what I've sort of found, I think you find it as well, you know, as you get older, you know, good and bad things tend to run in parallel. So whenever something really good's happening, there's a bit of shit in the background, and we have had an awful lot of hard times too. And just keeping the band together has been the biggest priority. So when we went to do the last tour, you know, okay, it's 21 gigs around the UK, and that's amazing fun, and it's amazing crack, and you get to play to hundreds of people. That's great. But I mean, I work a full-time job. Aaron and Luke did as well, and I'm just unbelievably lucky to be able to keep mine. I don't know how or why. They said, we'll give you the time to do this. Yeah. But Aaron and Luke were basically told, if you walk out this door and get into that van, don't bother coming back. And, you know, I sort of said to them, you know, my gosh, guys, none of us have any money here. We're all getting a bit older. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. You know, we'll find a way. And they both said, don't be so stupid. You know, you're either a musician or you're not. You need to be brave. So they lost their jobs. Lauren is trying to finish her degree. But even that has been unbelievably tough, because, like, we were even just in the van every day, you know, driving to a new city. She's sitting in the back trying to do an essay or trying to do her dissertation, and just, it's, you know, how she's been able to hold it together at times, I do not know. But she's hoping to graduate in a month. She's got one more month left to put it in. So, I mean, fair play to Lauren. She's supposed to be down here, obviously, with me, but she's not feeling too well this morning, and we're playing, like, a gig tonight, so that's why she's not here. But she's a really hard worker. I
don't blame her at all. I'm sure she's exhausted. Like, we have a friend who's finishing his course, like, in a month or so, and he's panicked about doing it, and he doesn't do anything else. He doesn't do anything, and he's still, like, every day I see him, he's like, this university work is killing me. And I'm just like, well, you know what, Scott? Imagine doing it in the back of a van. Imagine doing it in the back of a van while you turn around the country. Okay, so just get it done. Get it done. Yeah, that's insane, man. Like,
so that got really heavy there. No. That got, like, you should get some sad violins in the background there. But no, like, we're still really happy. We still love being in a band, because that's why we haven't split up. But and we all still love each other. I think that's the thing that's keeping us together as well. We love each other so much, and we love doing this so much. But I don't think a lot of people realise that Brand New Friend has been really, like, you know, a day away from being like, we have to stop this. We can't live like this anymore.
You can't afford it.
It's been really, really close to stopping. But every time it's been close to stopping, a wee thing happens, or you hear, oh, you might get this gig, you might get this gig, this song was played on this TV show, and it just is like, yeah, you know what, we can't stop now. We need to try and give it our all. But so that was just a post to say that our album basically I think it's been out 10 months, 11 months. That's a long time to not release any new music, and a lot of people, I'm sure, are wondering, where have you gone? Why aren't you releasing new music? We just can't afford to, but as soon as we can, we will, because we've been playing loads of new songs. We have hundreds of new songs written. Mm-hmm. So it's just a case of, we're going to bide our time, and when the time's right, hopefully people still care enough to want to hear it, is sort of what
Isn't that the case in some other bands, where it's like, they have their album, and then they just gig that album for maybe 1 or 2 years, but still writing stuff because they can't find time to.
But that's, I mean, like, I suppose, like, certain bands get into, like, a sort of label deal where they are forced to, like, release a record, like, every 2 years or something like that, and they say, like, you have to. So then that's a bit of a blind panic of are they going to release good material whenever it's like, you have to by this point, or else if you don't meet the deadline, you don't get the money, and then we drop you from the label and all that sort of stuff. So it's a bit nuts if you get into that situation.
Yeah, no, big time.
But yeah, no, I think that, don't worry about it being heavy, man. I mean, I think people want to hear that, especially the people that listen to our podcast. You know, it's very hard because you look at bands like yours, and like whenever I see you guys, I obviously think that's success. That's what everyone's trying to get to. Everyone on a certain level is like, those guys are doing it. They're turning around. They're working hard at it. But it's to see that it's not like, I don't know, some people might think, oh, they can do that because none of them have jobs, or you know, they mustn't have anything else to worry about. But you're real people, and you need money as well. Like, I think some people think you just like get to a certain point and you get signed by a record label, and then it's like they shower you with money or something like that, and that's clearly not how it works. Which is, it's kind of a question I want to ask you about, because you guys are signed.
Yeah.
The Extra Mile recordings, right?
Yeah.
So what was that like? So whenever you got signed, like I said, I think a lot of people think that's the goal.
Yeah.
How does it work? Is it really the dream that everyone thinks it is? Is it a point where it's like, oh, we can do so much now?
Extra Mile have been really, really good. You know, they were the first label to jump on the Brandy Friend sort of train, and to date they're the only ones who've shown any interest. It's not as if we were fighting off Polydor saying, back off EMI, you know, we're indie to the core, man. No, they're the only ones who cared, and for that we're really grateful. It was just a case of we had these 13 demos. We had more than that, we had like 20 demos, but we had like loads of demos done with Rocky O'Reilly in Belfast that we had done and we were happy with, but they were never ever supposed to be released. They were just literally demos, and Aaron and Luke, I think, had been in the band for probably about just over 2 months, maybe even less than that, maybe over a month, when we went in to record those songs. So we did them with Rocky literally with, I think we did those 13 songs in 3 days. That's including all the vocals. I think we did 13 songs in 3 days. And then there was one extra day for mixing, which I came in with Rocky and sat with him while he did it. But we did it, and then we sent it to a few labels. And Extra Mile came back and were like, really, really like this. We want to put it out, and we sort of laughed and we're like, we'll go back and re-record it and we'll do it right. Yeah. And they were like, no, there's a wee bit of hype about this band. We want to strike while the iron's hot. We want to release them. And at the time, you know, so that was 10 or 11 months ago, we hadn't been that version of Brandy Friend with Aaron and Luke for very long. And it was like, wow, oh my God, you know, a label wants to put out our music. It's like you never ever think a label will care. You never allow yourself to believe that. So we just were like, give us the contracts, we'll sign it, let's do it. If I could go back now, I would have waited, or I would have insisted on re-recording, because as much as I am proud of the album, I'm really proud of it. I think we're a better band than that album shows. I think it's all way, way, way too fast. It's like a million miles an hour, those songs. Like, for some of them, we cut off a full minute from the demos. Yeah. Like the acoustic demos. And it's like, you know, you think that 60 seconds, that's not much, but that's a third of a song. You know, a lot of the time it's a 3-minute pop song and you're playing it in 2 minutes. You're like, oh my God, we really rushed through that. But, you know, we didn't have a clue, and we still don't really have a clue, but we've got slightly more of a clue, I think, now. So,
it's still a great record, though.
Oh, thank you,
still a great record.
Thank you very much.
I kind of think, do you not think as well, though, that one of the reasons a lot of people connected with that record, too, is like the rawness of it, too?
Yeah.
You know, and people really appreciated that.
It's sort of, it has that sound where it's like, it's not exactly like lo-fi or anything, like it's recorded really crisp, but it does have that like live performance energy to it.
Well, that was exactly what it was. I mean, we literally, for those songs, to say it was like a 3-day project, so we like went in, and I dear love Rocky, because Rocky's such a good producer, and he would have loved to have done an album with us, and although he didn't really, because he thought he was just doing demos. So we went in, like, we didn't even have like a click track to play to, so Rocky threw us in a room and was just like, just go, just show me what you've got. And we just did it as quickly as we possibly could. And then it's like, right, okay, super, let's mix this. So we didn't even know what tempo those songs were supposed to be. We just got in a room, looked at each other and was like, 1, 2, 3, go. you know, which was fun. And you know, I suppose it does capture a cool wee moment in time. But yeah, the label just believed in it and believed in it more than I did, certainly.
Yeah.
And that's really, really cool. But I think we now owe them something a little bit more developed.
Yeah.
And we owe the people who have stuck with us something more developed, I think, as well, because as good as it is, I always feel like it could have been more, maybe should have been more, but if it wasn't meant to be that, if that's how it was meant to sound, well then great, and people do like it, and I love that people like it. But
well, it's gotten you so far, man, as well.
It's
like,
done
I
well
mean,
for us.
yeah, a lot of people love it, and it's obviously you guys are getting loads of shows, and you're selling more and more tickets to them, starting to sell out shows, especially locally whenever you play them. So like,
yeah,
you know, it's obviously doing something for you.
Thank you, man.
But like, I suppose this is sort of off the back of that question, but something I wanted to ask you about as well, is something that I'm always in a dilemma over, and that is releasing demos, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you guys do a lot of this, like through your Bandcamp and through your SoundCloud, where you'll like record an acoustic demo or a rough demo of a certain song, and you won't be afraid to put it out.
No.
Whereas I know some people are like, they will hold back forever on doing something until it is absolutely perfect the way they want it, and then they'll put it out. Which I always have this feeling of, if you're starting a project, I think that's maybe a good way to go, to hold off till a certain point. But I mean, once you get the ball rolling and you're playing shows and stuff, and you want to be always present to the fans, then it feels like you need to be putting out everything you're doing so that they always have something, you know, to see where you are at the minute.
Completely.
So like I take it then you feel that way, where you're like, you want to give something to fans every time. That's why you're not afraid to just go for it and stick it out.
Oh, completely. No, that's it in one, man. It's something we've always done. It was how the band started. Like, the band started with just me in my room with a wee 50 quid USB mic I bought off Amazon. You know, just recording these songs because I just, you know, it was for my own sort of, just for my own love of it more than anything else. So when the band started doing okay and we started getting people interested in us, I saw no reason to stop it. And I have had a lot of people ask me about this, actually, and a lot of people have said, you know, well, no other bands do this, you know, but I quite like the fact that we do it, because it sort of sets us apart. It's something that Brand New Friend will always put out wee demos. It shows people, you know, where we're going, and then if a song develops into the full band version, they sort of feel like they own it a little bit. Cause like I saw this song when it was a tadpole, you know, I saw this song when it was a little baby song, and I love this acoustic version. So, you know, I know all the words, and it means as well, like, we would play a lot of new tunes now in our set that are on SoundCloud in just a demo form. Yeah. So if I'm like, you know, this song is whatever, you'll maybe see 5 or 6 people in the crowd go, yes!
Yeah, they know it.
To a song that hasn't been released. Yeah. And our management and our label, they find that really weird. Yeah. But we've always had it because of the demos. So it's just a weird Brand New Friend quirk that we have always insisted on doing. And we put out actually like an acoustic EP the other day, and our label were not happy about it. They were like, you didn't stress it was demos, you have to take it down. Which is fair enough.
I was curious because you sent it over to us and we didn't get a chance to hear it.
The label were ripping. They phoned me in a fury and were like, you can't just drop EPs out of nowhere. You're not Kanye West.
See, we didn't even have to bring it up.
Kanye West always gets brought up on this podcast, no matter what.
Does he?
No matter what.
you need to get him on for one.
I know. Maybe one day after Joe Rogan. But, man, that's so funny.
But yeah, it's just something that I'm a firm believer in it, because I just sort of think if all my favourite bands did it, I would listen to them religiously, and a lot of them don't. But I mean, imagine if whoever, like, I love Catfish and the Bottlemen. I love them. I dig them. And if they stuck a wee demo up of a new tune every now and again, I would just adore it. The Front Bottoms do it, actually.
Yeah, they do. I knew you'd be a big Front Bottoms fan.
I adore them.
Can I ask you, have you ever listened to The Long Winters?
No.
Listen to them, because I'd done this with Ethan Hanna, right? Ethan Hanna hadn't heard of Phoebe Bridgers. I was like, Ethan, you're going to love Phoebe, right? So go and listen to it. So now he like, I don't know, he loves her. I feel I'm good at like suggesting bands for people. Please listen to the Long Winters because I feel like that's totally up your street.
All right, yeah, Long Winters. I'll check them out.
Yeah, cool.
Okay,
Blue cover with a car on it. You'll find it.
Awesome. All right,
I'll write it down after this. So moving on to Ward Park, the big one this year. Mm-hmm. How excited are you for that?
Oh man, I just so buzzing. It'll be amazing because I didn't go to the other ones. I was too young.
Have you? You didn't get to go to any of them? No, I suppose you would. Yeah, you would have been too young.
Too young. So I knew they were happening. Because at the time I was. We talked about Fiasco earlier on. Huge General Fiasco fan, and we're actually now playing the General Fiasco slot.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Whenever I looked at it, I was like, they're basically where General Fiasco was whenever they played. And I was just like, Taylor's probably loving that.
Oh man, you no idea. Like, just even to think, oh wow, Fiasco did this, like, alone is amazing. But, you know, throw in Two Door Cinema Club, obviously.
I know.
The boys and Foy Vance and, you know, Ash, obviously, who are good friends now. You know, it's just gonna be a great day out, and I think like the whole music scene's gonna be there. Like Northern Ireland's just gonna flock to Bangor. Everyone's gonna be there.
Totally. Is this planned to be bigger than the? It wasn't the first one. It was like the biggest show ever put on
in this country. I think it was. Yeah.
I wonder is this set to be bigger? I have no idea. I haven't looked at it. I don't know if the capacity is gonna get larger, but it seems like some guy like Buddy would want to do.
Yeah,
like, let's make it even bigger.
No, big time. Yeah, I mean it's Gary. I mean, he's always thinking big. I would hope so, but. You know, there'll probably not be that many people down early for us, but we don't care at all. We're more just excited about seeing our friends playing and just having a great day out.
That's what I can't wait for, because like that same post I was talking about where I talked about Kowalski, the thing that I was trying to talk about was just the fact that I can't wait to see all the people that I came up with in the music scene now there, you know, where I was as a kid, like idolizing these people on stage, and now I can look up and see those people and be like, I don't know, I'm so proud of you.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how else you meant to say. Yeah, one day maybe I'll get there. No, I'd just be so happy for everyone, because it's just like, you know, that is something you looked up to, and it just seems so unrealistic or something at the time. And now I'm like just seeing all these people being able to do their thing.
That's the thing. Once you're involved now, you like, as you say, you're gonna see those people on stage and actually realize just how much hard work everybody's put in there. Like yourself, Taylor, and Jealous of the Birds and everything. Like, we know all those guys really well and stuff too. And you just realize how much fucking hustling they're doing, like constantly, week in, week out.
Yeah, it's total misconception just for, like, you know, especially younger fans. I think they're gonna look at bands and just think that they get to a certain point and they've just made it and it's easy, and it's like, you guys have worked so hard for it. Everybody on that bill has worked so hard. Yeah. And it's just, this is the payoff. This is the big one, like. That's
it. I mean, there's so many nights where you're just like, I mean, everyone will tell you the same thing. Like, so I've had these discussions with other bands like who are doing really well, and they all say the same thing, that there's nights that they just think, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? You know, where am I going? Because you watch your other friends and they're buying houses, and you know, they're getting married, and they're you know, doing all these things that you dream of doing, and just think, I can't imagine myself doing that because I still live at home. Like, you know, it's just nuts. But then something like that comes off for you, and you think, oh, you know what, I couldn't be doing anything else right now because you just love it too much. You know?
Well, that's the thing, man. Like, I mean, you know, let me be an example for you. Is I'm one of those people that I have a house, I have a mortgage on a house, and I'm getting married this year.
See, that's so cool. To me, that's just like, that is the dream. Yeah, that is the dream.
But then I look at you and I'm like, that's the dream.
Oh man, see,
you always want what you can't have, so that's it. I mean, I'm so super happy. Like, don't get me wrong, like my life is great, but yeah, obviously for doing the music scene, you know, I'm just like, that's what I want to do as well. So it's I guess you can't have it all. That's the message. Yeah. You can't have it all. It's like, I can't do that and have a nice life outside of music. Right, moving on. What else have I got? Oh yeah, so it's sort of just this is a very open-ended question. Sure. But I guess for all the bands that are watching, that are sort of seeing Brand New Friend take off, what is the best advice you think you could give to a band? Not necessarily just starting out, but I mean, even myself, right? So if you're talking to me, I do a band, right? What's the best advice you could give me? How do you guys keep going how do you guys keep doing your thing? Like what you just said is like week in, week out. I probably doubt myself all the time of whether I should just keep going.
Oh, aye.
I'm sort of pushing 30 now. I'm like 3 years away from being 30 years old, and in my you're not doing the music thing, Andy.
It's so young, but it's ridiculously young.
No, I mean it's not old, but I think there's just part of my mind that's like I don't want to be post 30 trying to run around and play gigs.
Yeah,
I might be, but I don't know.
what
Part
I
of me
would
is
say-
like I need to give up by that stage.
Well, I mean, Gary, I think, and the Snow Patrol boys, I think they were 31 when Final Straw took off. So they were, what, 3 albums deep. And, you know, he called it Final Straw because that was what his mum told him. His mum was like, Gary, you know, this is your 3rd album now, and you still live at home, and, you know, you work in a bar, and this is going nowhere, mate. And, you know, you're 31 now. And he's like, no, one more album. And then obviously that was the album that did it. So I think although I know what you mean, because I'm the same thing. I'm always thinking, you know, I'm going to have to stop this. I'm going to have to start doing normal things soon. But then you're like, you know, you're on a big friggin' rock floating through space. There are no rules. There are literally no rules. Like, you just do what makes you happy. Like, time's not real. It isn't actually real. I know, and I know the whole thing about, well, you have to do this and you have to do that, but you just have to be happy. You have to try and be happy in this life, I think. And you can't put yourself in a box and say, this is my cutoff point, because, you know, your moment of the spark just going could be, you know, a year after you've decided I can't do this anymore. Because if Gary had to stop when he was 30, well then Northern Irish music and music in the world would be totally different.
Oh yeah.
But he kept going. He was 31 or 32, whatever age he was. Because Gary's what, 47?
Yeah, something like
now?
that, mate, yeah.
He's been doing it a very long time. Snow Patrol started in 98, you know, and didn't get success until 2004 or 5 or something. You know?
That's actually really reassuring, because like I try and think like that all the time, but the thing that always freaks me out about it is like sometimes I'll look at a band and I'll sort of go back and be like, I wonder whenever they got successful, and it always seems to be like early 20s.
No.
Every band I look at is like early 20s. I'm like, I've missed my time.
Man, so no, like I was even thinking the other day, like my favorite band at the minute that I'm listening to is The National.
Yeah.
You know, I mean The
National are
National are
great.
just unbelievable. I had Alligator on the car coming down here. Like, Alligator was their 3rd album, I think. And that was the one. Yeah, they had 2 albums and an EP out, and that was the one that took off. They were part of that scene with the Strokes in Interpol in New York. It was really cool. Yes. And when the Strokes blew up, they were in their early 20s, and Julian Casablancas was really skinny and really cool and wearing skinny jeans. And The National are now, in my opinion, the best band in the world. And they are on album 6 or 7, and they're all in their 40s. And they all dress in like suits, like they're just going to a family do, and they all got grey hair and grey beards. And I would rather be in The National than any band in the world. Like Matt Berenger just sits sipping wine on stage, and he's a 40-year-old man. He's got like 3 kids, and like it took him so long to get there. But I think the correlation between that and Snow Patrol and all these bands, they just didn't stop. They just didn't give up. And I think, you know, that more than anything is the advice that I would give. Like, that's why Brandy Friend hasn't stopped yet, because we refuse to give up. Like, and even if people
and you
stop,
like doing it so much.
we love doing it.
Yeah, so
And
that's
you-
the.
So-
And I think now with all the social media, ease of access to people's music, you can just blow up like that.
Yeah.
Just instantly,
People can
just
come
go.
to your music from
Yeah.
anywhere. Really,
Exactly.
nowadays, can't they?
Exactly. You never know whenever it's gonna come. Well, that's good. It sort of reassures me a little bit more. It makes me
I
feel
still
better.
don't know what I want to do, and I'm 34.
I don't think people never know. People never know what they're gonna do. I know that too, and like, you know, you always get that those dark thoughts in your head, and you're just like, what am I doing? What's the point in all this?
Yeah,
you
big
know,
time.
like
Yeah.
I'm just like, I should just give that up and just, you know, spend more time doing like sensible grown up things or
I think
something.
that too, all the time.
Constantly
It's
have
good.
the shakes too.
You
It's
just-
like,
No!
keep
You
doing
just-
the green
Carry
thing.
on.
I think you
Forget
worry.
about responsibilities. And
You worry that
Exactly.
you're gonna become a cliche, just, you know, like the guy that's like, oh, my band's still gonna make it. It's still gonna make it big. Believe in my band.
But if the National had stopped, I mean,
You're right.
Like Alligator was, as I say, the 3rd or 4th album, and that was the one that took off for them. And they were. I think they were literally 36, 7, like they were nearly 40, and they were. that was the moment that it's like, oh my gosh, we can quit our jobs now. I think Matt Berenger was a graphic designer and was quite high up in his company.
Yeah.
Because I saw interviews with him. So
that's amazing.
I mean, he was like, that was going to be his life. He was going to be a graphic designer, but he was like, also, listen to my band, we're going to make it one day. And they made it one day. And so it's, you can't rule yourself out of the long haul. I mean,
yeah, for sure. Well, I think what you said is really important anyway, man. Just to like, you know, be happy doing it. And I don't even know who I'm kidding whenever I start like saying, you know, if you don't make it by 30, you gotta stop. It's like, I don't think I could, because if I like have, I don't know, like a slow week or 2 weeks or something where I'm not doing something creative, all of a sudden I'm just like, I don't know, I get really antsy and I'm just irritable. And I don't realize why, and it's because that's how I express myself. It's like, it doesn't even necessarily need to be music, it could be anything, but like even this podcast just helps because I'm talking about music, but I just have to do it.
Well, that's why when you give me the call, like I was just so excited for you to be on it. I was like, yes, just talk about music. Of course I'll do it. It was amazing. I'm exactly the same as you. Like I couldn't imagine not doing it, and if I gave myself a cut-off point, it would just make me really sad. And I'm like, life's hard enough. I don't want to make myself more sad.
Put yourself under pressure.
Yeah.
Like, right, I need
there's too much pressure as is, let alone pressurizing yourself. You're right.
It's like doing the music is the thing you do to get away from reality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's
very
it.
true. Very true. I was gonna ask, this is a very odd question, right? But my beautiful fiance, she wants me to start asking people this on this podcast, right? So I thought this would be a good tie-in, right? I've noticed that like we're under the Your Spaceship brand. We have a lot of cool spaceship stuff. You guys seem to have an affinity for like UFOs and stuff like that. You have a song called I Was an Astronaut.
Yeah.
You've got UFO designs on some of your tees and stuff like that. She wants to know, right? She finds this very interesting, to ask people if they've had any extraterrestrial sightings or paranormal experiences of any kind. Do you have any cool stories on that front? You might not. It's fine.
That's a cool question. I don't think I have, actually. I'm really boring. No.
It's people just surprise you. I think that's the weird thing. Is like I was talking to a guy, I'll not name him in case he doesn't want me to say, but it's a guy I never would have thought would have something like this, and then we started talking about like one of these like ghost hunting shows. And then he told me this absolutely terrifying story about how he's convinced he's seen a ghost once.
Like for real?
Like for real. And he's like, he's so confident in it. And he's like, I know that's crazy. You can't understand until you see something like that.
Yeah.
But like, he is so absolutely terrified by the whole thing. But I know that like Sarah, my fiance, she is very into stuff like that. And she believes she's seen stuff before, whereas I don't feel I've seen anything. So I'm very closed off and skeptical. But that's just me. Are you skeptical, Andy, of believing in things like this?
When am I not skeptical?
I literally call him Skeptical Andy all the time. Skeptical of everything.
No, well, sure. Remember I told you that story? Actually, I probably told Sarah, not you. I was in my mum's house, bedroom, early morning, massive white light. Now, I don't know if I was dreaming. I'm going to put it down to I was dreaming. But there was a huge white light and a rumble. Sounded like a low-flying airplane.
Oh my god.
And that was it.
And that's it.
So I still don't know if I was dreaming or that actually happened.
Did you experience time loss?
Did any time loss?
That might have been.
That might have could have.
Yeah,
No.
that might have also been sleeping though.
Yeah.
Time loss.
But like,
And then I remember it was morning.
But that was the only time. Was like, yeah, just like eyes just slightly open, bright light, rumble, and then I went back to sleep again.
Literally, I think the only weird thing that happened to me is like I was driving. Phil was in the car, so I know this isn't just me, but like we were driving home from a show or a band practice, can't really remember, but we were driving like down the peninsula, so there's no like streetlights or whatever, and then we seen this thing like way off, but it was just like a really bright light, and it was so super weird because it was like right up into the sky, and then I was like, what the hell is that? And he's like, I don't know. And we're trying to work out, like, is it a car parked somewhere with, like, super high beams or something like this? But it was way too bright because it was so far away. And I was like, what was that? It went off afterwards. And we were just like, okay. Like, it seemed like the light just kind of, like, moved over a bit. And then it went behind some trees so I couldn't see anything.
That's mad.
But, yeah, that was a weird thing. I don't really know what that was. Could have been anything. I'm just putting it out there. But we are both still getting weirded out by that to this day.
That's a cool story.
Sure, that thing could be anything. Sure. with SpaceX and all now.
Yeah, I don't trust
whole
anything
thing
now.
flying,
Anytime
yeah.
someone sees a UFO, I'm like, it's a
That's probably
drone,
what
dude.
mine was. Mine was probably like the early days of Elon Musk.
Yeah.
SpaceX just went like
Testing
past
out here in Northern Ireland. Elon Musk's SpaceX base in Northern Ireland. Oh my god! But I had to ask just in case there was some like crazy story you might have.
I'm sorry to disappoint you guys.
That's all right.
I wish I had one too, but I don't.
It's all right. Not everybody has them. It's fine. Yeah. So I mean, I think that's all the questions I have, man. Is there anything you would like to add at all?
No, just thank you for having me, guys. I've really enjoyed it. It's been so much crack, and it's been cool, I think, as well, talking about the harder stuff as well, you know, the more difficult aspects of being a musician, because I think, you know, someone who's really good at talking about it, like, as well as yourselves, is you know, Son of the Hound, you know, Mick
Yes,
McCullough.
yeah.
He's a great sort of orator, and I think he's really good at sort of just saying things as they are, and being very black and white about things, because it's easy to just say, yeah, everything's cool all the time, but it's nice as well to have a bit of solidarity and say, no, it's hard sometimes. Being a musician is tough. Juggling life and work and music is really hard. So
Yeah,
I think it's just cool to talk about that. And Brand New Friend aren't splitting up. Like, just so you know, I talk a lot about it potentially happening.
No, of course not.
We're gonna keep doing it, and we have written tunes that we think are a lot better, and I just can't wait for you guys to hear it. We are going to record them. Ideally, we want to have something out this year. I don't know if it'll be possible. If it is possible, we'll definitely send it over to you guys first.
For sure, man. Yeah.
And yeah, just thanks for believing in our wee band. And
Of course, dude.
yeah, we'll see you again down the road, I'm sure.
Thank you, man. Well, Brand New Friend are playing Ward Park with Snow Patrol this year. They're also playing more shows in the UK. They're playing Camden Rocks live at Leeds.
Yep.
All these summer
Well,
festivals.
we've got a really funny one, which we haven't announced yet. We're announcing it tomorrow. I'm not sure when it's, so by the time this comes out.
This'll
probably,
this'll be fun.
We're playing Kelly's in Portrush.
Oh yeah.
Kelly's, friggin' Kelly's. You ever been to Kelly's? Been to the original Rave Cave?
I have heard about Kelly's so much, but I've never been there. I don't think I want to.
No, it's like the North Coast Thompsons is what it is.
So I hear.
So they've asked us to come and do it. They apparently used to have bands playing in the 90s, and they now want to bring that back. So we're the first band to play it in 15 years.
Oh
So
wow.
that'll be our hometown North Coast show, which we're really looking forward to doing, and there'll be a full North Coast lineup. Little Arcadia are playing, Sleeping Outside are playing. So.
Dude, that sounds really cool. Actually, I don't know if I can go that far. It's so far away.
I wouldn't play.
Although, are you guys doing some Belfast shows as well? Hopefully.
Yeah,
Fingers crossed.
we actually were talking to Shine the other day about that, and I think we're going to aim for something really cool in September, and it'll be our most audacious attempt ever, and we're being very, very bold with it, but can't announce it just yet. But again, you'll be the first to know when we can announce it.
That's cool, dude. That's cool. We'll do what we can. If we can ever do anything, just let us know.
Legends,
For sure.
thank you for having me, guys.
Man, thank you very much. Oh, I forgot about some of the traditions. Do you have a marker, Mike? We need to get you to sign the alien.
No way.
Yeah, everyone's been signing, so we have Ethan Hanna's on the front, Sasha's on the back. We'll get some Brand New Friend on here. You can
Awesome.
either sign your own name or sign your band's name, whatever you prefer.
I'm gonna put the band's name. That's awesome.
I don't know which one of these works. But take your pick.
Lethal, thank you, man.
This is one of
That's such a
two
cool
traditions. Good luck with this other
one
one.
of two.
Oh god,
One of
what's
two.
the other one?
You don't want to know.
Lethal. There you are.
Love it, dude.
Thank you
There
very
it
much.
is. That's it.
See over there. I was an astronaut video. Is that your brother in that as well? Yeah.
Yeah, it's me, Evan.
Oh yeah, you guys do so much family stuff. Have you ever seen one of these?
No.
This is an automaton.
Right.
Right,
Okay.
we like to get guests to play us out on this. It sounds god awful. It's so much fun. All you do is tap. So yeah, you can attempt a Brand New Friend song on
Maybe
that
get
if
one
you
of them
want.
in a new record or something.
Labels
I
will
was
be
looking for the new
New
song.
album?
I found the new song.
labels are gonna try and snatch you up after this shit. Well, that's it for another episode. Andy, what are you gonna say?
God, I don't know if I have it. It's too early in the morning.
know
And
what?
remember, just get enough sleep. That's all
Just
I can
get
say.
enough sleep, folks. Just get enough
Just
sleep.
sleep.
Remember, never give up. That's Taylor's advice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, see y'all later.
Bye bye.
Unreal. Thank you guys. That's so cool. That's literally the best interview I've ever.